everyone, so this is a weekend twin flame reading, and it is filmed from the comfort of my car, because I'm waiting outside the house for someone. So, let me sort my top out. Right, let's get started. Okay, so I'm just going to ask, what is going on in the collective, what we can expect to see this weekend, any kind of advice and guidance coming through for us as well. Wow, well, they just wanted to fly out. Okay, we've got two majors out here. So we have the Six of Swords, the Hermit and Justice. And straight away, Spirit is asking me to reorder and put them in this direction. So we're going to start with the Hermit card here. So I feel like recently we have been in Hermit mode. We have been going inwards, focusing on ourselves. Really finding our own blocks, finding ourselves. I think there has been a bit of distance between the twin flame collective, between the masculines and feminines. On the bottom of the deck we've got Six of Cups, which Spirit just asked me to look at, and that's like there's some kind of healing, inner child healing, past life healing, that has had to take place. That's what this Hermit card is about. It's about, in order for you to have this person returning from your past, you really had to go within and just spend some time in isolation and solitude. And this time apart, is necessary, this time in Hermit mode. And for everyone, it's going to be different periods of time. So for some of you, you will still be in Hermit mode this weekend. For others, you're going to be moving out of it here with the Six of Swords. It is an individual journey as well as kind of like a collective experience. So that's how I like to describe this whole twin flame journey. It is an individual journey with you and your twin flame, and the paths that you agreed to walk basically before you were incarnated. However, it is a collective experience, so you will be able to reach out and find that lots of the collective are going through similar experiences at the same time as you. So do reach out and comment on this video and just speak to other twin flames, and you will find that others are in similar situations as you. But only you know what it is that you have to go within for. Only you know what blocks you have, what healing you have to take place. But this is a card of spiritual enlightenment. The Hermit is someone who goes within and comes out of Hermit mode spiritually enlightened, awakened. This is that ascension process. The Six of Swords, so straight away I'm being told travel again. Travel is something that I've been channeling for quite a while now, and it feels like there is a journey. For some of you, this is going to be a metaphorical journey, so not a physical journey, but a journey going within, a journey, this spiral that we have for the twin flame collective, where you're kind of like spiraling inwards to the center of your being, to really learn who you are, and then you kind of come back out of this spiral with a different perspective. So for some of you, this is a metaphorical journey that you will be going on this weekend or shortly after. It could be really just spending time alone and thinking about what it is that you need to bring balance to, and what it is in your life that is out of balance and needs kind of like restoring right now. That's what I'm feeling. Also, it kind of feels with the Six of Swords, some of you might physically be travelling. So some of you are going on holiday, booking a holiday, travelling to see friends, travelling to see family. There's some kind of journeys and travel that is kind of happening in the collective this weekend, or being planned this weekend. So you might be discussing travel with your counterpart, but all three of these figures are individual. There's no other people in these cards. So I do feel like this is a solo journey right now. That's not going to resonate for everyone, but it does feel like solo travel, solo journeys. This is the individual journey right now before union. The Justice card here, it is justice. It's justice restored. The Justice card to me speaks of second chances. So are we going to be coming out of this weekend with a second chance? Yes. A second chance at what? Well, this depends on you, on where you are in your journey and what your experiences are right now. But the Justice card to me, Spirit's saying this is clarity and big changes. There's something that has been a block and I see that obstacle being removed. I'm seeing obstacles being lifted, weights being lifted off your shoulders, like someone literally taking something off you, and taking that weight off you, taking that responsibility for some of you. For some of you, you've been juggling too much responsibility, and it is time to put that burden down. I just see balance being restored, these scales being balanced, new perspectives being gained, and I do see solo adventures. For some of you, I am actually feeling like you're going to be travelling alone. I'm feeling like you are thinking of travelling alone, and that is going to be really, really wonderful. That is going to be an enlightening experience. Okay. What else do we need to know? 8 of Cups, another card of walking away. And we've got the Knight of Cups on the bottom here. So in order for you to have this offer of love from your counterpart, whether that be a twin flame, soulmate, whatever kind of divine relationship or situation you are in, whoever it is that is going to be bringing you an offer of love, it is necessary for you to first walk away from this connection. And that seems really, really confusing and surreal. And it's like, why would you walk away from love? Well, you're never really walking away from love. If this is your twin flame we're talking about, you are connected throughout this lifetime and eternity. Some of you need some tequila shots, that's what we're saying. We need to loosen up and have some tequila, some salt and some lime. Okay, some of you this weekend, it is about going out and having fun. I'm feeling that myself. I'm very much feeling like this message isn't for me. It's definitely for kind of like others in the collective. I just want to have some fun this weekend. But this 8 of Cups, it is literally lifting the obstacles. It's lifting those blocks. And the 8 of Cups, it is going out and finding some deep, meaningful life purpose. I feel like I've already done that quite recently, which is why this message isn't really for me. It's for others in the collective who aren't at that stage right now, which is what I'm channeling for, because I want to channel for those who really need the guidance, and they're the messages that I'm receiving from Spirit. So, for your offer of love to come in, it is first necessarily to walk away and focus on yourself. And this card, you see the dolphin jumping up out of the water to meet this person who's decided to walk away. It's like, as soon as you do that, there's going to be surprise communication coming in, surprises. It very much comes in the dark here, in the night, in the stillness. When everything seems very calm and serene, that's when you're going to see a big shift. So you need to find that calmness, that stillness within you, and that's when you're going to feel a shift. If you're panicking, anxious, stressed about the situation, about your relationship with your twin, then you're not in a place where this is going to happen. Spirit's definitely telling me that when this offer of love comes in, it's going to be when you have truly found inner peace. Okay, what other messages do we have for this weekend, please, Spirit? So can I have some weekend messages for the Twin Flame Collective for this weekend? The moon, and we have the Tower on the bottom. I like this. This is sudden revelations. This is big insights, epiphanies. It's a collective experience, because you see the wolves in the background here with this moon card. I'm being told this is a collective shift we're experiencing. This weekend, between now and the full moon, we have a very collective tower moment happening, and I love this. Some of you see the tower card and you're like, oh my god, like what is happening? You're really thinking the worst. But I'm now like, bring on these tower moments. They are just clearing the way for you to kind of do some healing, for you to move forwards in this connection. Things are never stagnant when a tower is around. It might feel uncomfortable, but that's where movement happens. That is where you experience big shifts. It is in these tower moments, in these experiences, which they can be uncomfortable, but don't dread them. Really kind of be grateful for all these experiences, because that's what creates a shift. So I definitely feel between now and the full moon, it is going to be a couple of tower moments, but not negative ones. This feels to me like it's going to be a positive shift forwards. It's not going to be the heavy purging we've experienced. It's going to be from a much more powerful place where I'm literally just being shown someone being pushed forwards. So it's just like, this is the push forwards, whatever it is that you have been resisting. So there has been something blocking you and your counterpart from coming together. There's been something blocking this union, and whatever it is now a push to lift this block. So that's going to be different for everyone. It's going to be different in different situations. For some of you, you might have been resisting doing some healing, and Spirit's going to give you a little push, maybe towards the right person who's going to help you heal. So maybe you've had counselling in the past and it hasn't worked, and then suddenly you're going to meet a counsellor you just click with, and that's going to be the person you're going to work with to help you heal this trauma or this wound. For others, it could be, I don't know, it could literally be anything. Like maybe you've needed to find some inner peace, and all of a sudden you're walking down the street and you see an advertisement for a really affordable holiday. As I said, that it was 11/11 as well on that. So that's definitely the travel that I feel for some of you. It is going to be, you see an advertisement for a holiday and you're like, I can afford that. I'm going to go book a week off work and I'm going to go on holiday. I'm going to do it alone. And that's going to be the holiday where you experience a big shift in your connection. That is going to be the time alone where you have that honest conversation with yourself and you find yourself. So many of us feel like this is a really, really long, painful journey, but my sudden turnaround happened within a 2-week period. That was where I had my tower moment. I experienced some heavy...
I didn't quite get that.
Oh God, why is Siri turning on? Even my phone's kind of like confirming all this now. So it is... yeah, that is where I experienced my divine intervention, which really pushed me into a deep place of surrender. And the next thing I know, everything has completely turned around with me and my twin. I am going to share more about this kind of like next week. So I am definitely going to share more information about my own situation. I'm going to go live on Sunday on my Instagram, which is at Twin Flame Guidance 555. So do follow me on Instagram and you'll find, I try and go live as often as possible, but I do have kind of like a full-time job as well as this, so it just depends week to week. But I'm going to go live on Sunday and do a check-in for the week ahead, as well as sharing my recent developments. Okay, let's see what else we've got. So let's see what other messages, any kind of guidance we have, Spirit, for the Twin Flame Collective for this upcoming weekend. Well, that wanted to fly out. You cannot make it up. We have the Hermit that's come out with his 6 of Cups. It's just confirmation of my first message. Spirit's basically being like, shut up, we've already told you what's happening. But I'm going to do this again. So, this weekend we have this time alone, this time kind of like being with yourself, meditating, just really focusing on yourself, going deep within you, finding your own blocks, and that is going to be the moment where your counterpart returns. It's like this person wants to return so badly, but there's something that's been blocking this connection because you haven't gone within. This is the final big push for you to really just spend time on your own, spend time awakening, enlightening, really kind of go deep within yourself, find your own blocks, find what it is that you've been struggling with. And as soon as you accept that you're going to be spending time on your own to heal, or to learn, to grow, that's when they're going to return. That is when people from the past return. And I do strongly feel like for some of you, this is inner child healing that needs to take place. So for some of you, there's been some events from childhood that you have been really resisting healing, or maybe you thought you had healed, but Spirit's like, there's more work to do. And as soon as you make a conscious decision to do this healing, that is when you are going to experience a shift in your connection. That is when you are going to feel things develop and move forwards. Okay, let's get a Romance Angel card for this weekend. So let's have a Romance Angel card for the Twin Flame Collective for this weekend, please, Spirit. And that definitely wanted to come out. Let go of control issues. that is a very important message for anyone, not even twin flames, for everyone. If you're still trying to control the situation, then you haven't surrendered. If you're still worrying about how your union is going to happen or when it's going to happen, then you haven't surrendered. You haven't let go of control. You know, in my 2-week shift, that was a point where I completely let go of all expectations, really surrendered. And this is something that happens in divine timing, this isn't something you can force, because I told myself so many times I was walking away from this connection, or I had surrendered, and I hadn't, because I couldn't yet. I wasn't at the right place to surrender. So, don't try and force this. You can't force it. It just happens when the time is right for you. But you can work at consciously trying to connect with the universe, at deciding that you want to work on your connection with spirit and your guides, and you will feel a lot more comfortable surrendering as you really, really trust and believe in the universe. So this weekend, Spirit's saying, what is it that you are holding on to, and where can you let go of this? What worries and concerns do you have that you can give to Spirit, you can give to your guides, and just let that go? Take small steps towards surrender. Think about what it is that's been blocking you, where it is that you've been holding on to things, and just let that go. Really do give it to the universe and let them take on that responsibility, and they will work on your behalf for you. So your small steps towards surrender. Okay, we're just going to end with some message cards. Now these are my twin flame message cards that you can buy on my shop, which is twinflameguidance555.com. Okay, the first message out from your counterpart: you are my wish fulfillment. What other messages do we have from the counterparts, please? I miss us. Wow. I will propose to you. Raise your vibrations. And oh my God, another one. I want to marry you, my love. Okay, one final message, please, from our twin flame counterparts for this weekend. Okay, I have to take two. You are my reason for everything, and I'm sorry for what I did to you. So that apology really needed to come out. I asked for one and Spirit said no to. So that apology, that I'm sorry for what I did to you, needs to come out from your counterpart. So for some of you, this is what's being healed. It is forgiveness. It's forgiving your counterpart for whatever hurt they've caused, whatever they've put you through, basically. Forgiveness is important. Forgiveness that's when it's unconditional. That's when your love for this person is unconditional, because you forgive them. You forgive them for their mistakes and accept them as mistakes. This doesn't mean that it doesn't need to be discussed. For some of you, there is still going to have to be a conversation where you forgive face to face. But right now, Spirit's asking you to send that forgiveness to your counterpart and send that healing out to them as well as to you. Okay, I hope that reading has been insightful for kind of a little bit of a brief introduction, or a kind of small snippet of what we can expect for this weekend and what is going on in the Twin Flame Collective. I have also launched my spiritual awareness course. So this is the level 1, which is psychic awareness, and level 2 is psychic development. So level 1 very much focuses purely on connection with spirit. There's no cards used. It's a 6-week course which is done in a Facebook group. So there's 12 people that they put in a Facebook group, and every week there's a guided meditation which I record, which is channeled from my guides, and a psychic development exercise for you to do. And at the end of 6 weeks, you will have that connection with spirit. You'll be able to communicate with your guides, and really kind of work on your psychic awareness. And then in level 2 we move on to other methods of communication. So that's where we look at using tarot or oracle cards, and you'll learn how to kind of work with crystal balls and stuff like that. So you can book this course on my website, There are only a few places left. You know, I will run it every kind of 6 weeks, depending on when I have holidays. But I can only do like one group at a time because it does take up quite a lot of my time. Because for each guided meditation we do, you're going to type up your notes and send them back to me in as much detail as possible. And I'm going to analyse these and give you feedback. And we're going to see what kind of messages are coming through from Spirit. And you can learn how to kind of like decode your own meditations as well. So that's something which I am very excited to launch. Do visit my website and check it out. If you've got any questions, you can drop me an email. It does take me a couple of days to respond because I receive hundreds of emails, if not 1,000, like every day. Okay, so I'm wishing you a wonderful weekend, and I hope to see you on my live on Sunday.